So when it comes to self-massaging the anterior thigh, a few things you want to be aware of first. The quadriceps tend to get very tight in our culture just from too much sitting. Almost every knee problem that people experience, the quadriceps will almost always be too tight. So you want to make sure you take good care of these tissues. But the anterior thigh isn't just the quadriceps. You've also got the sartorius, which you can see right here, and the TFL. And a couple of the adductors right here. You want to make sure that you take good care of them so they don't develop trigger points over time, adhesions, or hold too much tension in general, so everything is working properly. Otherwise, it can really stress out the hips and the knees. It can create rotational stresses and pull the patella out of line during knee flexion and extension, which can really wear down the cartilage on the patella and lead to arthritis, which nobody wants. So when it comes to the anatomy, the quadriceps, quad meaning 4, there are 4 muscular heads here. Rectus femoris is the middle one right here. That's on top. Vastus lateralis, and it wraps around all the way to the back of the femur, actually, to the linea aspera. Vastus medialis, which is medial, wraps around to the back on the inside. And underneath these 3, you have the vastus intermedius, which you can't see on the picture here. And that's going to be harder to change when it comes to soft tissue manipulation, just because it's so deep. But when you affect the other 3, it'll affect the vastus intermedius too, just because they all work together. So on the side here, everyone knows the iliotibial band, the IT band, can get very tight on people. It attaches right here at the tibia, and it comes up here. The gluteus maximus and the TFL both feed into it. The TFL is kind of small. It's about the size of your hand, and that helps with hip flexion. And so does the rectus femoris. That's the only part of the quadricep that crosses the hip joint. So that'll also flex the hip. TFL attaches to the ASIS, the anterior superior iliac spine, which is that really bony part of the hip bone right here. Just slightly medial and slightly inferior is the AIIS, anterior inferior iliac spine, which is where the rectus femoris attaches. And you can feel that if you just flex your hip right there. Just medial to that is the femoral triangle, which you want to avoid mostly because that's where the femoral nerve, artery, and vein run, right there. Just medial to that, you'll get into the pectineus and adductor longus, which also flex the hips. You can feel those right there. It's like right here in the anterior medial thigh, okay? The sartorius, which is this Taylor's muscle, also attaches to the ASIS along with the TFL. This one crosses the thigh and attaches to the pes anserine tendon right here. 3 muscles attached there. If you ever feel pain in the medial knee, it might have to do with the sartorius, the semitendinosus, which is the hamstring on the medial side with the huge tendon, or the gracilis, which is a long adductor muscle that attaches there and comes up to the pubic bone. So pretty basic, and just so you can see this better, the VMO here is important too. That's that teardrop shape right here. That stands for vastus medialis obliquus. That's important to take care of because it helps keep the patella in line so you don't develop lateral traction of the patella, which is a big problem. There's the patella tendon right there. The quadriceps both attach, 4 of them. They all attach to the tibial tuberosity right here, that bony part right on the front of the tibia. Okay?